To start us off with today's video, we need a pen, some hot glue, some extra wire, a paper, a ruler, some scissors, and some tape. We also need a drone. I figured that the cheaper the drone and the lower quality it is, the better, because of the lower specs on it and the lack of technology. It's about like $15. I got it off of Amazon. Link is in the description below. To start off, I'll be taking the drone and I will be disassembling it. Now remember, you want a drone that has the motherboard. You could see it through. The motherboard comes out and encases the motors for each part of the drone. Now I'll take it apart. As screws. And to unscrew those. After finally unscrewing the drone, I will take it apart. Try not to mess up the orientation of the motors. You won't need this part anymore. The back of the drone is where the input for the charger is and the on and off button. Take off all the motors. Now take the plastic casing, the top plastic casing off. Keep all the motors in place though. Now you end up with this. This is the antenna and these are your 4 motors. You can figure out what the front and what the back is from the charging port and the on and off button. They're usually in the back, so your front 2 are the front propellers and the back 2 are the back propellers. What I'm going to do now is just cut off the wire from the midway point for the front two propellers and the same to the back 2 propellers. But the thing here is I won't use the front 2 propellers. So you could get rid of these. You could use them for later projects, which I'm probably going to do in this channel. For the rear 2 motors, put them next to each propeller so that I remember which one is with which. So this propeller is with my right side, right rear, and the other propeller is for my left rear. And remember to cut it so that there is some wire on both ends so that you can work with. Now what you want to do is get a match or a lighter. Now with the lighter in hand, I actually learned this today, so this is my first time trying it. Take the match, open it, run it across both, just like that, and strip them. Oh, it actually works. Whoa. My God. You don't even need to put some pressure onto it. It just slides right off. Like you need a tiny bit of pressure, but not that much. Put the motor back to where you took it and do the same to the other side. Now, if you accidentally pull a wire from the motor, it's not really the end of the world. You can use a different motor from the other side with the same color strands. And so you basically have a second try for every motor. And now do the same to the rear 2 motors while making sure not to short any wires together. So I actually overdid it and I just stripped the entire thing. That's alright. You just want each wire to be by itself. Try to separate the wires. So what I'm actually going to do right now is I will take each wire. I'm going to twist it so that it all holds on together to itself. And it doesn't open out and thread out like it usually does. So usually your motors will be the opposite. The opposite motors would usually be the same. So I have my blue going to M minus, and I'll put my blue to M minus. How I'm gonna do this is I will cut about 3 inches. My bird is being a bit feisty on the bottom of the cage. Make sure that they are aligned together. And now you're going to strip them same way. Oh, no, this doesn't work. We need to do it on each one alone. Right before it starts burning, just strip it. There we go. And the same to the other side, and for all four wires. I actually found it easier to just strip the wire with scissors. If you guys don't know how to do that, you basically bring the wire, put it about 1/4 of an inch away, and basically cut through half of the wire, just like that. Don't cut too much. You don't want to cut any of the wire itself. And now that you just created a little dent on each side, take it and pull it off. My wire is a bit thick, and that's why I can't use the lighter. If you guys have a thinner wire and a thinner excess wire, then you could definitely use that. Now with all the wires cut out, you're gonna take the motor and you're gonna put both, you're gonna hold both the wire and the extra wire together, just like this, and you're gonna hold them together and twirl them around. You could also solder them if you have a solder. I have a solder, but not a lot of people do. So after you finish, fold it inwards and put some tape around it or some hot glue. Using a little small strip of tape, take it and put it around. And if you mess up the orientation of your motors, you could always look at the wire itself. Now roll it around, tighten the tape, and do the same to the other side and also to the other motor. Now with both motors finished, I'm actually going to do the same thing, but back onto the drone itself. I actually stripped all of the wire for this, so I can't see the color on it, but I will look at the opposite end, and this will be a red and white. So I'm looking for my red and white motor, which is this one right here. And I will connect red to red and white to white. How I'm going to find that is over here. White is a minus. I'm going to put white to a minus on this side. And make sure to have the, to be putting it to the back of the drone, which would usually have the charger and the on and off button. And for this part, I'm actually going to use the hot glue so that I can hold everything together, because if I lose these wires, if they get cut, then I'm basically going to need to solder. Now with both motors finished and running, I'll take some hot glue and make sure that both points aren't touching each other, the wires at all. If they are, just move them away from each other and just fill the area with hot glue. Don't add too much because it's gonna put extra weight, but cover everything with hot glue and stick it down to the motherboard itself. And do the same to the other side. Now, after they're hot glued, take both wires and just stick them together and do the same to the other side. And this is just gonna add some reinforcement to each wire so that they don't rip or break. And if you don't like the shape, you can just put the metal part of the hot glue onto the glue itself, reshape it, and let it dry. Now that we have both sides, form a little U shape with the extension wire. Try not to bend this part of the wire or this part. And now get some cardboard. With some cardboard in hand, I'm going to cut out about 5 inches of cardboard. Doesn't have to be precisely exactly like 5 inches, but you do want your sides to be as straight as possible. Now, cut about half an inch inwards. Now the cardboard piece, you're going to mark the center. So mine is actually 4 and I'm gonna make that 4.5. So you basically have 5 to 4.5 inches. I just made that way too short. So correction to my words. Take some cardboard, cut a 1/2 inch strip first, and then measure it out. It's the words of the wise. This is just under 5 inches, so I'll cut it right on. So that's 4.5. Half of that is 2.25. So 2 1/4. So here's 2. And right where my fingernail is. There we go. Now take this cardboard piece, and you're going to put it right above the drone. I'm going to use the point and the charging port as reference. I'm going to take out the antenna just so that I could fly it further and there's no disturbance. Put it right between them and I will hot glue it down to the board. Now close it down, center it, and then close it down and hold it until the glue dries. Take both of your motors and align the front area of the motor with the front of the cardboard itself, just like that. And you could just keep the wires just the way they are. Now that all of this finished, you're ready to move to the next part. To start making the airplane, you first want to fold it hot dog style. And when you're creasing the fold, you want to make it as tight as possible. So after you make the first crease, bring your thumbnail or a solid object and run it along the crease to make it super tight. Now fold a triangle from the corner of the page to the crease that you just created on the paper. Make sure to have the flaps above this line that you just created. Make sure both flaps align close enough to each other. Now tighten the crease. And now fold it again inwards. Make sure to get the tip as sharp as possible. Now tighten the crease again. Do the same to the other side. Now put some tape over here. You want a small strip of tape, nothing very heavy or big, just to hold everything together. So fold it inwards, tighten the crease, and fold it outwards. Now you want about an inch away. You want to create a line about an inch away from the corner, right here. I'm actually right-handed, so that's why I was holding it weirdly. And now roll your fingers inwards all the way to the tip and roll the paper along with it. This is going to allow you to fold your paper inwards from the tip all the way to the 1 inch mark. So make sure it's on. Create the crease. Do the same to the other side. Now that you finish the other side, come to the winglet area of the plane, and they should align almost right above each other. It doesn't matter if they're like just a tiny bit different, but if they're really far apart from each other, you should redo the plane and create a little crease at the end just to help with the flying process. And you want to create it so that it points downwards when you open up the plane. I made the crease to be about 1/4 inch. Make sure that they align on both sides. Now open up your plane all the way and cut out little strips just like that. Don't cut them out, but just a small strip, 1/2 inch away from the line that you created earlier. And it should be about 1/4 inch inwards. And then the same to 1/4 inch away from the other crease. And you just cut through both papers. Now they're equal on on both sides. And now you are ready to put the drone. With my plane finished, and my parts disassembled, I'm just going to take the battery from under and gently take it and just bring it over the drone so that it just sits there. Tape it down. Actually, I prefer hot glue, but I don't have any sticks. So now take your plane, bring the flaps or bring the plane together and pinch it down from under, and bring your motherboard from above. Center it, make sure that it's right above the lines. You could actually like make out the lines. Pinch it from the side, go on to the next side. Now center the plane and hot glue it down to the flaps. But of course I don't have it anymore because I used way too much for my other planes. I tried like every method in the book. And the other side. And now you should be finished.